welcome back to the Arkansas E-Traveler. My name is Landon, and I'm glad to have you here for episode 2. When last we were together, I left you talking about this kind of out-of-the-way charger that made its way to PlugShare down in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So I did a little research, and there's not really anything specific that I found in this research from Walmart itself. However, there were some patterns that began to emerge in my research. So I think that I have an explanation for why that particular charger is there and why I don't think that it should be on PlugShare. But obviously that's not a point of contention or anything for me, but one of the overarching themes that we're going to have with these sets of videos from the Arkansas E-Traveler and going through Walmart's electrification efforts, it's like Walmart is a train. And I think a lot of people might agree with me there, as in get off the rails, right? But if Walmart is a train, one rail is the electrification for the private consumer. And then the other rail, there's an electrification for enterprise ventures, things that they're doing for themselves in-house to create a better customer experience that the customer themselves, they don't have to be aware of them. All right. So here's what happened is down in Fort Smith at the Zero Street location, there's this charger that almost looks abandoned. Okay. I say abandoned loosely, but it doesn't look like the Crossroad, Texas, and it doesn't look like the Springdale, Arkansas beta chargers. Well, first of all, they're very different. The beta chargers are ChargePoint Express Plus units. Right now, they're capable of 200 kilowatts. The ones that are that's mentioned in PlugShare in Fort Smith, well, it's a ChargePoint Express capable of 62 and a half. Now, I only know that number because it's the same unit that is at the location in Bentonville. Okay, that one is not meant for public use as far as I know. We talked about that last unit. My guess is that we have these 62 kilowatt units, and then we have these 200 kilowatt units. Very, very different to see. One's a ChargePoint Express Plus, one's a ChargePoint Express, and they're not meant for the same people. Here's why I think that. I was actually, a few weeks ago, headed to get a free charge at the Springdale location. And I get there, and it's being iced. But it's being iced by a gigantic van and then a small sedan. And it turns out the gigantic van is a bright drop van. And I really didn't know much about these. I pull up to the guy who's in the sedan. It's an internal combustion. I'm like, hey man, are we using this? Because I need to get a charge. He's like, yeah, I'll pull forward. I'm just trying to get this van to work. And I look at the thing and I'm like, what is that? He said, it's a bright drop van. We just got it from the GM dealership across the way. And my mind's blown. Like, GM is making these things? Like, are these things on the Ultium platform? Like, what's going on here? But then he notices I have a Blazer EV, and he's like, well, this thing's dead. Like, do you know how to, when I plug it into the charger, it doesn't work. So, like, basically, I'm like, man, it sounds to me like your 12-volt system, if that's what mine uses, you may have a 12-volt system that's already gone dead. You may have left the switch on, something like that. Basically, what has happened was he had just gotten back from a test drive with that thing. And so it's very, very similar to how a lot of us got our EVs. It was go take a test drive with a guy who's been selling internal combustion engine vehicles for years, but here's an electric, good luck. You know, it seems like that's how a lot of it's been going for people. Well, the same thing happened to Walmart. GM dropped off the Bright Drop van, but they went and drove it, and here you go, good luck. And so they were going to let it charge at store 4108 and at the ChargePoint Express Plus beta testers, but something got left on and it died. So he's calling GM and the dealership, hey, how do I do this? But that was a weird day. I was also kind of remember, like, I got to be in the right place at the right time to see this thing fresh off of delivery. It was really, really cool. These BrightDrop vans are amazing. So I got to doing a little research, and so my rudimental research that I'm sure many of you know way more about, I've come to realize that Walmart has ordered like 5,000 BrightDrop vans back in the early stages of 2022, and they want to use them for home delivery. Now, home delivery is a perk or a plus that you can add to a Walmart Plus subscription. I have it here. Me and my wife enjoy it. They bring our groceries to us, put them in the refrigerator that we have in the garage. It's kind of limited where you can get it right now, but it's growing, and so we've had it for a few years, being in Northwest Arkansas, and it saves us a ton of time, and we really, really do enjoy it. So we think that obviously these are going to be used for home delivery. There might be some inventory things as well, from location to location, maybe from distribution center to location, who knows. But then I was doing more research because I remember right as I moved to the Bentonville area, they were talking about this company called Canoo. Canoo, based out of Oklahoma, was trying to get their headquarters moved to Bentonville. It makes sense. They had just gotten an order for Walmart from 4,500 lifestyle delivery vans in the July of 2022. So it makes sense to move your headquarters closer to Walmart. A lot of people up here do it. I mean, there's a World Trade Center in Rogers. So you can find a Kellogg's, a Procter & Gamble, a Clorox, a PepsiCo. All of them have offices very, very close around here because they want to be in close proximity to Walmart. Makes sense. The only thing is the Canoo plans kind of fell through. They fell on some financial issues, it would seem, and everything's on hold for them. So Walmart needs 4,500 vans. What are they going to do? Well, if you go look at Store 100 in Bentonville, okay, which is the kind of a flagship store, there's always some celebrity there. Like we've seen Paris Hilton there, Sofia Vergara. Basically, if you're going to create a line of something and you're going to sell it at Walmart, that's the Walmart they fly you into in Bentonville, and you go do all the publicity things there. And so if you go there, you'll see there are multiple ChargePoint Express units in the back, as well as level 2 ChargePoint chargers. And so they're moving forward despite Canoo not being able to deliver these vans. I have not seen a Canoo van up here for Walmart. I've seen them for some other people, but not for Walmart. So what I've noticed is it seems like Walmart has said, okay, y'all go work it out, go get it fixed, and then we'll reevaluate what we're going to do with Canoo. BrightDrop has stepped in. And so now BrightDrop has shown up at not only Store 4108, Store 100 in Bentonville has it as well. And in fact, this week, we saw some press releases saying that they had ordered more, and now they're not GM BrightDrops, they're Chevy BrightDrops. So there's been a little bit of a rebranding with GM. I don't think that's a big deal at all. But Walmart seems to have ordered even more of these BrightDrop vans. So now it looks like that Walmart is getting ready to add these officially to their fleet. Basically, they were piloting about 400 of them in Northwest Arkansas, probably Metroplex and other places. And now they're going to bring in more of them and add them officially to the fleet. Now, when they ordered them, they went for the larger 600 models of the BrightDrop, but now they're adding in the 400 models. They're capable of quite a long range for carrying all of this load. It's 272 miles of range, and you can expect to see them in Austin, Dallas, Denver, Detroit, Northwest Arkansas, Orlando, and the Bay Area of San Francisco by the end of the year. Funny thing is, I have actually encountered 2 of these BrightDrops now out towards the Bentonville Centerton City line. One Sunday, I was headed to lunch, and here comes a BrightDrop, and took a quick video of it. Was able to pick up, I mean, they're very distinct in their appearance. They're yellow and white with some alternate colors you expect from Walmart. So It's very obvious around here when you see a bright drop now what they are. There was also an order that was placed. It was almost kind of obscure, but I had to go kind of deep and find this. But also, there was an order for 1,100 Ford E-Transit vans from Walmart. This is not very well known. The only way I know it is that somebody went to Store 100 and put in PlugShare photos that included that particular brand of vehicle, the Ford E-Transit commercial vans. So I think that what's going on here is two things, okay? So I've thrown a lot of information at you, basically to justify and say this. Based on everything that I've seen between PlugShare, Walmart press releases, and what's going on in the app with regards to beta testing in both Crossroads and Springdale, if you see a 120 kilowatt or 62 kilowatt ChargePoint Express unit or a level 2 charger at Walmart, these are probably for Walmart's electric delivery fleet only, and they are restricted, and they will not charge your EV. Okay, that's why I think that Fort Smith location should be listed as restricted or not even in PlugShare at all. It's not going to work for you, and there are photos from Store 100 of it not working for people who tried. Okay, now in the coming months, if you see a 200 kilowatts ChargePoint Express Plus unit, chances are that is meant for you to charge at. Chances are you already knew that, though. It's just the other piece about the ChargePoint Expresses that I think is causing a little bit of confusion among people who are also tracking this project. These are the ones that are in Crossroads. These are the ones in Springdale. I imagine they'll be what they use in the Metroplex 15. So I think that's really, really a defining feature. Just look at what the unit is and probably the location where they are at the store. If they're kind of around back, I don't think that's meant. They want them out front, right? So that you can see where they're being used. If you look at the Store of the Future press release, the ones meant for the public to use are out front, right? There's one other thing, and I think this is an interesting conversation that I think a lot of you would enjoy having, maybe down in the comments. I'm not algorithm fishing here, but so my question is, though, which one makes more sense for Walmart to push to the consumer? Because some people say, oh, the faster the better, so I can get on with my way. Well, does Walmart want you to come in? Does Walmart want to try and sell you something as well as letting you charge up? Does it make more sense to go a little bit slower, maybe 62 or 120 kilowatts instead of the full 200 kilowatts that are being installed right now? I think that's a conversation that a lot of people are wanting to have and talking about. Personally, if it's me, I want the faster one. Like, I want that to be my decision. But here's another reason. A lot of Walmarts are located on the interstate near exits. Road tripping, getting back onto the road. Like, that's who will be attracted to those locations. They need to be as fast as possible. And chances are, if they're going to stop there on a road trip anyway, they're already down in their state of charge low enough that they can afford a little bit of time to go in. So it's a conversation. Let me know your thoughts down in there. And I sure appreciate you tuning in, and look forward to catching you next time here on the Arkansas E-Traveler. Thanks for watching, and happy trails.